What's up, manga fans? Now it's time for another Luke's Lightning Round. Cha-ching! I don't have any soundboards on me, so that's the best we're going to get. And this is an extra special edition of the Lightning Round this week. As you may have noticed already, dear listener, there is no weekly review show on the feed. That is very weekly. Very weekly, you might say. Oh my goodness. It never gets old. And the reason being for that absence is that it is an annuals week, 5th week of the month. That is usually annuals week in comic book land. And in manga land, what that means is that all the shows is going to be the Patreon exclusive. The weekly show is going Patreon only this week. Pretty low, Jim, you might say. Yes, indeed. And that is just a little bonus for all our loyal patrons out there. And it's something to sweeten the deal a little bit, you know? Bada bing. That's how it works. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. That's how it works, you know what I'm saying? And of course, if you have any complaints regarding this scandalous revelation, you can forward all complaints to weirdsciencemanga@gmail.com, and make sure, vitally important, that you have to address all complaints under Jim. This is all complaints go to Jim only, so I am scot-free. It is all Jim's fault. Okay, that's important. Make sure you get that across. Okay, I'm glad we've covered this. Bada bing. Now, there is another reason why this is an extra special lightning round this week, as this week we'll be talking about a special chapter in a special series that we don't usually discuss on the lightning rounds or on the main show or anywhere really. And it is a big book too, but we don't usually discuss this. We are talking about the One Pieces this week, and we don't usually discuss the One Piece. And I'll tell you why we don't discuss it. It's because me and Jim aren't yet caught up to date on the latest One Piece chapters. Oopsie doopsie. I'm in about the 750s, and I think Jim's on probably like chapter 2. So he's a long way to go on the catch-up game. I'm in the middle of the Dressrosa arc with the dude with the funny glasses and the pink flamingo, doll flamingo. That's him. I'm dealing with him right now. But I still have a bit to go before I'm up to date, and Jim has a long bit to go. So lots of playing catch-up. But that's why this is a special chapter, because this is a special one-shot, one-piece chapter, and kind of works under the circumstances. It kind of works as a little jumping-on point for the One Piece. A little taste test for the series. A starter before the main course, if you will. Oh my goodness, it gives you a little taste. I'll explain why, and I have a theory. I have a theory behind all of this business that's going on with these One Piece one-shots recently. So get out the crystal balls, just like Jim has. Get them crystal balls, and you can put on the tinfoil hats. We'll discuss theory talk in a minute, but we'll get down to business first. Because this is One Piece. Naoshi Komi covers Vivi's adventure, chapter 216. That is Naoshi Komi of the Nisekoi manga fame. Oh my goodness, a series that me and Jim haven't read yet. Oh wow, but I am pretty impressed with the art. And Colton of Manga Mavericks fame, he was saying it was pretty good as well. So maybe it'll show up on a Manga Monday sometime in the near future. Who knows? It's added to the list. Bada bing. But this chapter, this is what I would describe as the cover band performing the greatest hits. If we're talking about old people music, you know what I mean? This is a retelling of chapter 216 of the original One Piece manga, and it is in an oversized format. So really, it covers a little bit of chapter 215 and 216, all rolled into one package, and it is a guest mangaka retelling this iconic moment of One Piece history. The Vivi's tearful goodbye from chapter 216, and this is Naoshi Komi putting their own little spin on things, little remix, if you will, new art and splash pages and all sorts, kind of spicing things up a little from the original chapter. All right, so that's all very well and good, but here's where the crystal ball comes in. All right, tinfoil hats, everybody, because if we go and look, if we go Blue's Clues and start investigating, put on our little detective caps here, all right, and we go into the Shonen Jump app, and if you go back to 2019, you will find a sort of similar suspect in the wins. Oh my goodness. We have in 2019, Boichi of Dr. Stone fame covers Zolo, that's Zaro to you and me, dear listener, versus Mihawk. And that is another iconic One Piece moment. That's from chapter 51. That's back when Zolo fought the Mihawk, and then he got sliced and diced. He got the big X on his chest, and he was all like, I'm never going to lose to nobody ever again. And he held up his sword, and it was very dramatic. And it was Big Feel's moment. And that's like chapter 51, so that's early days. But that's a big, iconic moment in One Piece history. Oh my goodness. So we see this in 2019. And now here again in 2021, another iconic moment being covered by a different guest mangaka. And you start putting the pieces together. Ooh-wee. Here we go. The plot thickens. And suddenly it appears perhaps a game plan going forward. You see all these connected dots? Every couple of years, what might happen? Every year or every couple of years, we're not picky, but every couple of years we might get a special chapter, like one of these special one-shots, little remixes covering an iconic moment in One Piece history, and each one with a different mangaka covering that iconic moment. So eventually, a couple of years down the line, what you'll find is you'll have enough chapters to fill out a volume, maybe 1 or 2 volumes, because they are big chapters, and it will be like the One Piece Greatest Hits album. You'll have all these iconic moments. You'll have an all-star lineup, some of the best mangaka in the pages of Jump history, all retelling these iconic moments in One Piece history. You'll have famous mangaka from Jump history retelling famous One Piece moments in One Piece history. It'll be the match made in heaven. Oh my goodness. And then if you'll have your full One Piece collection, volume 100 on the way, then you could, slide in this Greatest Hits album right next to it. Bada bing. And that would just be nifty. I think that would be pretty slick indeed. Oh boy. So maybe that's the game plan. Maybe big dreams. I know, take it all with a pinch of salt, but that could be the game plan, or it could just be random. Just random one-shots, and this is all one big coincidence. But I'm telling you, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on the Greatest Hits album that might be coming in a couple of years. I don't know. Just stay tuned. But if that's what happens, I'm telling you, if that's what happens, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. All right, not to toot my own horn or nothing, as me and Jim like to say, but you heard it here first, okay? Tinfoil hats, bada bing. You know what's up, bada bing. But as for the chapter itself, we might as well discuss that. It is a nice little trip down memory lane, down memory lake, perhaps, because this is the Straw Hats' final days in Alabasta, and this is Princess Vivi, of course, best girl Princess Vivi, making her decision on whether to stay at home in the kingdom of Alaberna, or join the crew and set the sails as the pirate set sail on the 7 seas. The pirate's life for me, all that stuff. So that is, so that's what's going on. Now, at the start, I did say that this could work as a jumping on point. And in a way, it kind of does. Okay, because while this is chapter 216, and while it does throw you in, it throws you into the deep end. You're getting no context. You're getting no previously on the One Pieces. You're just getting thrown in, and you just gotta roll with the punches. But that is the way it is for everybody. Because this chapter came out way back, originally, it came out way back in 2002. So everybody who was reading it then, like even if you did read it back in the day, or even if you did read it back in the volume that it came out, it's going to have been a while since you read it originally, and now you're going to come back and you're going to read it now, and you're going to feel a little bit disorientated starting things off. You're going to be like, why is Luffy dressed like that? And what's going on here? And, I remember Princess Vivi. She was a gem. Long time no see, Princess Vivi. And all this jazz. So, even for the big One Piece fans, it's going to be a little bit disorientating. And that's why you're kind of in the same boat whether you haven't read it before or if you had. But if you haven't read One Piece before, this chapter brings a lot to the table. What do you get in this chapter? Well, you get some Luffy. You get some Straw Hat Luffy and the Straw Hat crew, the OG crew. Before, this is the original 5 or 6 here. This is OG crew. And they're going up against the Navy. So you have some fighting business going on there. Classic One Piece business. You have some funny shenanigans thrown in there. Some zany humor with the likes of the Gem, number 2 Bon Clay. Oh, come my way. Iconic. And of course, you have Best Girl Vivi and what is undoubtedly one of the most iconic One Piece moments in all of One Piece history. That is the X marks the spot on the arms and, putting it up there and saying goodbye. And perhaps that is the power move, the most powerful moment of the power of friendship in all of manga history. That is a huge moment. That is something that in the anime, in the manga, everybody, all One Piece fans, they love the bits, that bit. And everybody still remembers that, arm up there with the X's, and everybody loves Princess Vivi, so everybody loves that bit. So it's the perfect package. It's an iconic moment. It's going to go down in history all the way back from 2002, and we're still talking about it in 2021. That's how big it is. So what you will find is with this chapter, you have the complete One Piece package. You have a little bit of everything. You have that crazy One Piece action. You have that zany One Piece humor, and you have those big feels that every so often surprise you in One Piece. You think it's just the wacky pirate manga, but suddenly you got big feels coming out of nowhere, like at the end with Vivi's tearful goodbye, and it is big feels. So that is enough, I reckon, that if you haven't read any One Piece before, you could, take a little look, take a wee gander at these 35 pages here, and it might just tickle your fancy, ladies and gentlemen. You might be like, you know what? I kind of feel like going back and reading the previous 215 chapters of this series just to check out what's going on, and then going to read another 800 chapters after that to get up to date. Bada bing. Oh my goodness. It's just that easy. And while, it is a big undertaking. One Piece is a huge undertaking. To get up, we're on the 1030s in the chapters. That is a lot of playing catch up to do. 100 volumes pretty much. Volume 100 is on the way. So that is a lot of commitment to make, but that is part of the One Piece journey. And I think what you have here with this chapter, not only being a nice little celebration of One Piece and, the greatest hits album potentially, but this is just a little bit of a, hey, try this out. This is a little bit of a perhaps jumping on point for new readers. Maybe you don't want to jump into chapter 1032 or whatever, but you see this little one shot and you think, okay, I can get on board with this, and you read it and you're like, oh, this is a nice little read. Maybe I'll go back and I'll check out the rest of those chapters. The whole series is all on the Shonen Jump app, so it's never been easier or more affordable to do so. $2 a month, the greatest deal in comic book manga reading history. Oh my goodness. So I think there's something there. I think while you might say chapter 216 is very odd jumping on point, I would say yes, but roll with the punches. I mean, there's 1,000 of these, so you gotta jump on somewhere, don't you? Jeez Louise. But I did like it quite a bit. I do like these little remixes a lot, because a lot of the things that might throw people off as well with One Piece is the art is an acquired taste. You gotta get used to that art. But when it's a guest artist jumping on, you don't have those problems anymore. And I gotta tell you, I do like the cut of this Naoshi Komi's jib. I do like it quite a bit. So maybe I'll check out some of that Nisekoi business, because I'm very impressed with the art here, especially that final splash page showing the arms and the X's. I mean, bada bing. That's what it's all about, isn't it? At the end of the day. Oh my goodness. So yeah, I liked it a lot. I'll get an 8.5 out of me. I'll go 8.5 out of 10. I'm pretty happy with these greatest hits chapters, and I do hope that we do get more. I mean, not so my prophecy can come true or anything, but I do like it quite a bit because it gives you that One Piece fix without having to go and play catch up yourself and read like 300 chapters to get up to date. So I do like it quite a bit, and I'm hoping for more. Bada bing. So that was Luke's Lightning Round this week, a special book for the special week that's in it, and a special reminder to everybody listening that you gotta boogie on down to the Weird Science Manga and Anime Patreon this week to get the full weekly show, very weekly indeed. I think it topped out at about 2 hours and 20 minutes this week, so that's a big load of listening for your ears. And it was a good week. I think we are justified in saying that. Me and Jim were very happy. So good books, big smiles all around. Yes, indeedy. But that is the end of the show. XO, XO, XO.